putting my list together for things I wanted to talk to you about, and I was going through each division. And when I was doing some research, I saw that there was a junior heavyweight title change going straight into the G1 season. I was trying to figure out the question I wanted to ask you specifically about the title change, but really, you brought up the rich heritage with CMLL and the Lucha Libre impact that it's always had with the junior heavyweight division. So I'm asking you right now, maybe as a fan and as somebody who sits there as the lead commentator, does New Japan Pro Wrestling have the best junior heavyweight division right now in wrestling? Coming out of the best of the Super Juniors, looking at the way the super heavyweight title is in major contention right now, there's a lot of people vying for it. Do you feel like New Japan has the best junior heavyweight division in pro wrestling?
I'm trying to concise things a little bit in my mind with, CMLL. They have, the middleweight, welterweight, light heavyweight. They have a lot more specificity in the Mexico Athletic Commission's board and jurisdiction as to what applies where. But realistically, I think that there is no better junior heavyweight action than what you find in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you want true proof of that, Best of the Super Junior 31 just wrapped up last month in June, culminated June 9th at Dominion, started back in May, and just a litany of matches that prove exactly why New Japan's Pro Wrestling's junior heavyweight division is what it is. And you're right, we did just crown a new IWGP junior heavyweight champion in Doki back on night 7 in the Tokyo Budokan during the New Japan Soul Series. I consider that an absolute shock victory, not because I don't believe in Doki, a hell of a talent Doki is, but El Desperado just went through this entire war of the best of the Super Junior tournament, eked out that finals victory in the main event of Dominion for the first time in history, defeated Sho in a crazy steel cage match back in Sapporo on night 1 of the Soul Series, and then ends up with what is now the second shortest reign in junior heavyweight championship history in New Japan Pro Wrestling, just a little bit ahead of old Juventud Guerrera. So, it's a very interesting dichotomy of what we have here. The chase, the claim, and then that first defense hurdle, which we often talk about being the hardest one in any championship reign whatsoever, to establish that confidence, to establish that dominance. And Desperado failed just as he had against Sho back in Sapporo in February to lead to that entire title reign, which we saw. So I am very intrigued to see as we head into the season of heavyweight action in G1 Climax and we kind of close out the junior heavyweight side of things, what Doki's championship reign looks like. And I'm very hopeful that we do get to witness Doki in action on this G1 tour, even in just preview tag team action before we head into G1 Climax participation.
For the tag team division, TMDK, Fightful reported earlier, they just re-signed contracts. We could rave about the great things about the tag team division, but right now, one of the all-time greats from New Japan, the Gorillas of Destiny, are currently featured and showcased in one of the biggest wrestling stories of the last 20 years, 30 years. Some people are saying forever, mind you. How do you feel about watching Tama and Tangaloa, having seen their career in New Japan, having had a chance to call some of their matches? How do you think about how they're being showcased right now in the Bloodline, making the jump over to Connecticut?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. First off, hats off to Tama Tonga and Tangaloa for, making careers in Japan and then jumping to what is a very different situation, a very different environment. The structure is completely different. What might be a lack thereof in New Japan is much more tightly written and rode in an organization like World Wrestling Entertainment. And I think that there's a lot to be commended by Tama Tonga or for Tama Tonga and Tangaloa for being able to make that jump and do so as smoothly as they have and really become fixture points in this Bloodline saga that we have seen. I mean, Paul Heyman said it so long ago, we're just only in the first chapter or we're only in the first inning or whatever it was he said to really illustrate the point that this is, you want long-term stories, folks. All right, well, here they are. I only got to know Tama Tonga very, very shortly. He left about 4 months into my run in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I actually had a wonderful conversation with him on his last match out when he lost the Never Openweight Championship to Evil, back on that night. where we had a conversation in the hotel where it was a very genuine one. It was a very kind one. It was one where it made me go, man, I wish I would have had more time with you and that you could have stuck around a little bit longer to be able to, just strengthen that bond. He was a good person on so many accounts, is a good person by so many accounts, and I'm very happy to see the success that he has. Same exact thing goes for goes for Tonga Loa. His exit from New Japan Pro Wrestling was a little bit more shocking to me. I expected there to be more to be done in sort of a singles variety for Tonga Loa, but I'm very happy that those two, you grow up together, wanting to be wrestlers, your childhood dream often to make it to the largest wrestling company in the country that you're born in, and do so together as a family. And nothing embodies that family element more than the bloodline situation in WWE. So, super proud of Tama and Tonga Loa. Hoping the best for them, and it's interesting to see where things continue to go.
So we've talked about New Japan, all this great things going on, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. I want a question for you, Walker. A question for Walker Stewart. You're making towns internationally, man. You had a great indie career and run when you were doing commentary there. What's the work-life balance like for you these days?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Is there a balance is the real question. Very, very interesting one to ask there. Work-life balance. I've been going through a lot of changes in my personal life I'm not going to get into, but it's kind of led more so into me dumping more of who I am into my work, which can come with some incredible benefits and kind of some drawbacks from a mental standpoint. But I think I have a really healthy balance where I am right now. Especially New Japan have been very easy to work with on scheduling. I've never turned down a date or a tour concept that New Japan have put forward to me. I want to be in Japan as often, as much as possible, getting to do this live, my dream, live that out for as long as they'll physically allow me to do so. But yeah, I think that when I'm on the road, very easy to make time fly by. I mean, I have my moments, of course. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss those that I connected with on the independent scene. But the roster, I hang out with a lot of the international talent quite often. A very welcoming group for the most part. David Finley is a little iffy, but I'm trying to work on him, soften him up a little bit. Gabe Kidd's a madman. I don't want anything to do with the bar scene when he's around. But reality is, New Japan roster is filled with a lot of very helpful, very good people that have very much kind of walked me along in the early goings and were like, hey kid, here's this, and this, here's how you can figure this out. Really just stringing me in that way. And I'm very grateful for that early introduction that I had, because it has made the transition to doing things on my own now much smoother, which has been very helpful in every single way. So work-life balance is good. If I when I'm in the States, I don't really have anything I'm required to do unless there's a post-production call that I need to make. So I get to pour more of myself into things that I love. I enjoy when I get the time to do some Twitch streaming, some light video game, wrestling watch along, anything like that. The Velvet Voice WS thing is my social media on every single handle, Twitch included. So, drop the Prime sub over there, brother. But, absolutely fantastic time when I get to be home, be with my family. I love that. I love it to death. And I love being able to be on the road as well. So there's literally no negative either way other than missing a couple of people once in a while. So very much enjoy what I get to do.
All right, Walker, before we land the plane and we go home, everybody has to answer 5 random questions.
5 random questions. I'm ready.
I've got yours queued up. None of yours have to do with wrestling at all. So you got 5 lucky ones. All right. So question number 1. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh my gosh. Is it cheating if I say The Iron Claw? Is that
absolutely not?
I love wrestling so much that I want to put The Iron Claw there, but it feels passe. I'm gonna go with Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris Bueller's Day Off? That a good one?
Yes.
That's a good pick.
That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah.
I think The Iron Claw. I'm a sleeper like Homer for A24.
The production company movies. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Question number 2. What was your favorite TV show growing up as a kid?
Oh, I was, if we're talking cartoons, I was a SpongeBob kid. But Hey Arnold as well. My brother got me hooked on Hey Arnold when it kind of came out on Netflix, which sounds like a weird sentence to say if you were like, grew up in the 90s. What's so interesting about that though is like I didn't grow up on TV. I grew up on YouTube. I don't that's so weird to think about for me, but like I grew up on like video game YouTube content creators and like Minecraft and wrestling stuff and different whatever. So like my parents were not monitoring what I was watching, but it turned me into who I am today for better and for worse. So but yeah, if we're talking actual TV shows, Family Matters, dude. Oh my god. The George Lopez show, it's all coming back to me now. That question
Sid,
just unlocked something. We can just keep going on that.
these would be the easy questions. They're not. We're gonna
No,
talk
they're
like
not.
we're gonna
This is
peel
great.
onion layers back. You're gonna
Oh,
need to
I'm
call a
loving this.
therapist by the end of it.
Oh, it feels like therapy right now. Wow, I love it.
Question number 3. Tribalism just huge in wrestling right now. Everybody has to pick a side. So I'm gonna make you pick a side.
Oh
Does
God.
pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh God. No, not at all. Not a soul on earth should be putting anything relative to pineapple on a pizza. And I'll even take this a step further, and this is controversial. I'm going to go no fruit on pizza whatsoever. And people will look at me and go, Walker, a tomato's a fruit, tomato sauce. I'm an Alfredo guy. So I'm putting Alfredo on pizza. I'm putting pepperoni on top of it. That's a dream pizza. Stuff it with some cheese in the crust, and you have yourself a magnificent dish. So no pineapple on pizza.
Sold. Done.
Damn.
That's it. Close it. Run the outro. Question number 4. Would you never, if you had the choice between one of the two of never being hungry again or never being thirsty again?
Oh man, I'd be drinking, man. Not like that, but I'd be drinking
Oh, I
liquids. So
keep
I'm such a
like water all the times. Like I'm real bad about sodas, but like always have a beverage of some kind. I get that.
I would be I would be a much better person if I had water all the time. I have an unopened Diet Mountain Dew because I didn't want to drink on stream, but it's there. It's there. If I start coughing,
I'm an unofficial Dr. Pepper sponsor because I
bam.
drink one like
Dude,
every time I'm on a stream with it, man.
when I was doing Twitch streaming, I had a Diet Mountain Dew, and I swear to God, if I could find them in Japan, I'd have a Diet Mountain Dew at the booth with me every single time too. In Japan, I'm a Welch's grape juice sponsor. That's what I am. But gosh, wait, what was the question? Oh,
if you
I would I would rather never be thirsty again because I assume that means my throat's always lubricated, so I will never cough the way that I am right now. That's my answer.
All right, well, one more, then we'll get ready to wrap it up for you. And this was a tough one too.
Okay.
You have to give up. You have to make the choice, one or the other: tacos or cheeseburgers.
Oh, that's mad easy for me. Tacos, I can give it up. Yeah, I don't need it.
Yeah,
It's fine. Yeah, we'll put it aside. Put it on the tray. Double it. Give it to the next person. I'm such a burger guy. I'm the most American dieted human being ever in all the worst ways. Like it makes Japan such a difficult thing sometimes. I'm like burgers, pizza, fries. Like, oh my God. Yeah, that's it to me. So yeah, no, you thought you got me with that one, huh? Yeah. I was a
okay.
burger.
I'll admit it. I can admit it. I'll eat crow. I thought that one would be a little bit tougher, but you shut it down. I'm here for it. Absolutely.
Which one did I struggle the most with? That was probably the movie one, right? What did I struggle the most with there?
I would say movie and TV show. Those were the first two that kind of opened it up for you. You were like, wait a second. Yeah.
And it's so funny. Oh, I'm like an onion. I'm peeling back the layers.
See?
Yeah.
You have no idea. You thought the first half was going to be the tough part. The 5 random are always the hardest part, man.
It always is. I'll be prepared next time.
All right, this is the part everybody loves because I shut the hell up. Plug anything you want to plug. Tell us about your shows, anything that you have coming up that you want to put over as far as social media stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about it. NJPWworld.com. You're going to want a subscription. You're going to want to sign up for the highest tier, every tier, all at once. You're going to want it. G1 Climax 34 is the most prestigious tournament in professional wrestling for the year of 2024. And there is no tournament in the world that will be able to outclass the action that you see coming up, which will start July 20th live in Osaka for the opening night. We are going to have two monumental matches there. Yota Tsuji and Konosuke Takeshita from AEW in Block B. Block A, Los Ingobernables de Japón versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. Tetsuya Naito, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, versus my personal favorite wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling overall, the Rampage Dragon, Shingo Takagi. Two monumental matches to kick off night one, and then night two is followed up with two heavy nights as well, or two heavy matches in Osaka. Hiroki Goto, Yuya Uemura, Zack Sabre Jr., Tetsuya Naito, and we follow up all the way to the 19th night, the finals event taking place in Ryogoku. Every single event, I want you to zoom in, listen real close, every single event, live English coverage, NJPWWorld.com. I will be there. You'll get to hear the velvety voice that is Walker Stewart. You will get to hear and talk to all of your favorite New Japan Pro Wrestling roster members. We're going to have Jeff Cobb in the booth occasionally. We will have a variety of athletes come through on the English broadcast side of things. Of course, my good pal Chris Charlton when we were in the Tokyo area, and then ready for the semifinals and the finals. So once again, NJPWWorld.com. And if you want to follow G1 Climax from afar, I mean, I think you're a little crazy, but I respect the effort. You can follow me on Twitter at VelvetVoiceWS. I'm going to be covering all of it all across every social media sphere that I have my hands on. Of course, at NJPW Global on all social media as well for your English New Japan Pro Wrestling content. And that's all I got for you, Will.
Excellent, Walker, man. I really appreciate your time tonight and stopping by and chatting about some wrestling with me.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I talked to you a little bit about it earlier on, but there's an interesting butterfly effect that my participation in Last Word on Sports, even as brief as it was, a little bit less than a year, I think, that I got to be in the group chat and on the board and writing, for about my local scene and all that stuff. It has been a bit of a game changer in my life in a way that I had that very brief interaction with all the teams. So yeah, definitely couldn't pass this up. Very much appreciate you having me on the show.
Excellent. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to do my quick plugs. Make sure if you're on Apple or Spotify listening to us, remember to like and follow and leave a 5-star review for Botch Spots and Share Shots. And always check out Last Word on Sports for all of your sports and wrestling, day-to-day news and interviews and knowledge. For the Velvet Voice, Walker Stewart, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.